everybody, welcome back. Today we are going to be talking about a couple different subjects. So one of them is the two completely different things, actually. I had a question in my inbox about it's a relationship thing. The other subject has nothing to do with this whatsoever. But it's a male, and he asked me, how do you know when someone is, what do you say, rebound? How do you know when you're a rebound to you? Like, how do you know, how do you tell the difference? And I feel like, so, and if you're watching this, I haven't even answered you yet because we were going to do this show, so I didn't have time to do that. So I thought I'll answer it here on the show. I'm not going to give your name, obviously. But I think that when you're, if you have to ask the question, then that's probably your answer right there. So if someone is using it as a rebound, I feel like you obviously know that maybe it's what is going on.
Right.
So I don't know. I guess.
I mean,
what do you? I
have rules when I break up with people.
Right.
I give myself. I'm not someone. Whenever I'm someone that doesn't jump right back into
relationships.
Jump right back in the pool. For me, a relationship.
I mean, like once you're broke up,
then I'm broke up for a year, couple.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? My last relationship was 3 years ago.
Right.
And that to me doesn't even, like, most people would jump right back in and start dating and stuff. But for me, I think everybody's different. But for me, I'm better. I need distance because once I fully commit, and see, the thing about me also is that it takes a lot to get into my world. But once you're in it, then once you're in it, that means I really like you.
Right.
I'm really loyal. So once the relationship starts to progress and then it ends. Then I can't just jump back into something because my feelings are still maybe not still in love, but my feelings are still in what I just left.
Right. So even if you think that you're over something, it's gonna it might creep back up. If you just jump right into a relationship, it might creep back up.
But the reason why I say that I don't do that, and the reason why I say that is because I think that when people are not whole because of something they've left, that they don't know what to look out for because they're still in an emotional sense of being alone.
Yes.
And so you'll fall for things. You'll fall for men, if you're a woman. You'll fall for men who know how to talk to you and know what to say because you're hurt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or even if they're not trying to do that, you may fall for anything because you're used to being with someone.
Right.
So the same thing, I think, because this is a man, I think it's the same thing that goes for men. If you're someone who's never not had a relationship.
Right.
Then I think that at first I think there's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
You need to be there needs to be a time when you're single. And there's a reason why you're single. You're single because you need to or you're single helps you prepare for something better.
Right.
But if you're just jumping from relationship to relationship, then you start to fall for anything.
Yeah.
Anything is good for you as long as they're around you.
Yeah. It's like if you feel like you're in a rebound situation and someone is so you think this woman is using you as a rebound. So I mean, I still feel like if you're asking that question, like if you know you're in a good relationship, a good solid relationship, everything's going really well, you feel not only attracted to each other, but things are going well, you're confiding in each other in a lot of things, and the old relationship's not all popping up. Every conversation is not about your ex-girl or his or her ex-boyfriend. I don't think you would even ask that question.
Right.
If everything was solid already, then you would not even be asking this question. So,
but then also
you have to question yourself. I feel like you have to question yourself, and I think that's what you're not doing.
Yeah, but also
you're questioning her.
Right. But I also think that I have rules about who I date.
Yeah.
Also when I start dating. So I don't date divorced men, newly divorced men. I don't date men who are separated. I don't date men who who come into a relationship with too many hangups about what happened before.
Yeah.
And so I feel like what a lot of women do when they're dumped or when they're broken up is the first thing they do is go to social media and start sexualizing themselves. They start taking pictures of themselves half naked. They'll start making sexual, even if it's just a face photo. It's like
suggestive.
It's like suggestive photos,
yeah.
trying to get men to validate them.
Yeah.
Is what it is, because they got hurt, so they want some sort of validation from the opposite sex.
Yeah.
And
I'm very careful how my behavior after a breakup, because I've been after a breakup. I've dated right after a breakup, and but not seriously. So if I just think when you're trying to be serious,
right,
you know what I mean, that's where it kind of gets like all messed up. But I'm like you, like I do have
time.
like I give it time. When in my situation, my ex, he actually left me, so there was a lot of healing that had to be done. You know, when you get dumped, it's not exactly an exciting, fun time. You have to, especially when you're a woman that gets dumped. Like it's difficult because your ego, you know, your self-esteem takes a little bit of a hit. You know what I mean? So it took a minute for me to process that and go through the motions of that. So because of that, I took a minute, but when I started dating, I dated someone, and I won't say I didn't mean for it to try to be serious, but it was seeming that it was ending up that way. And I shouldn't have done that because it didn't work out right with this person, because basically I wasn't ready yet.
Yeah.
So you do have to give yourself time before you start getting into relationships. I think what you're doing right now is that you're questioning this woman, and while there's a place for that. I get your point on that, because you have to know. But I think really, this is what we always say, that you really always have to look at yourself. And I know people do not want to do this. People do not want to just sit back and say to themselves, when you got out of your relationship, you obviously jumped in it with her, or something happened where you quickly, you know, got into a relationship with her.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm assuming that if you think that you're a rebound, that means that she's newly, like, single and embracing that, right? And you got her at a time probably where she's still thinking about the other guy. Yeah. In some way. Maybe she doesn't think about, she might not even be thinking about him to be with him. She may just think about her ex just because she didn't heal yet. I don't know the exact situation. But what I do know is that if you don't look at yourself, then these are the questions you're going to be asking. You know?
Yeah. I mean, again, like that's what you're saying, is that you do have to really kind of look at, you know, how you pick people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because and why you're picking people.
Right.
Because I think that a lot of people pick people based on loneliness, about feeling like they need to be in a relationship, because it's hard being single it's not hard being single because singles being hard. It's hard for a lot of people for social reasons. Yeah. They don't like the idea of not having another person, another head on the pillow.
Well, especially when you reach a certain age. Especially when you reach a certain age,
not another head on the pillow. A lot of people don't like to really love their single life. You know what I mean? I would say that naturally I am someone who can do both. I think naturally I do well in relationships, but also do well by myself. You know what I mean? So I'm not someone who needs to be with someone right away. You know what I mean? I really want to be with someone, but I don't need to be with someone to the point where I just need to pick anybody. Yeah.
I can stand back. I can take a break. I can take a break. I'm good at taking a break. I don't. Yeah, I'm like you. I don't. It's not that I have to be in a relationship immediately right after. Like I like to take my time anyways on things. So, and I think that just stops a problem happening, because if you just jump right in to a relationship right after your own relationship, and then you know that she just got done with the relationship, then you're both setting yourself up for what's going to be a failure in the relationship. So I can't predict the future, but some things are just textbook. Yeah. You know what I mean? So whatever, I don't wish any bad relationships on anybody. I mean, I hope whatever it is that you're working it out, or you're figuring it out or working it out, one or the other. But it doesn't look good. Let's put it that way. It doesn't look good. I think what you're saying also earlier is that
if anytime you're having questions in a relationship, it's usually happening. If you feel like your husband's cheating, he probably is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They always say like the private investigators always say that 9 times out of 10 when a wife thinks that her husband's cheating, he usually is.
Right.
So it's that inner feeling that you know about someone. Most people don't like to look at red flags because they're too busy worried about if I'm going to be with this person, if this is going to be in a relationship or not.
Right.
You know, most people are focused on loneliness and they're focused on being cuffed more than they're focused on who they're actually dealing with.
Yeah.
And the thing is like you have to understand that love is a choice. But so is choosing the person that you're with. So if you choose to be with someone who isn't treating you well, then then what you're saying is that what you're really doing is not treating yourself well.
Right.
You know, you're afraid to look at yourself. Part of being single is being able to look at yourself.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of people don't like being single because it takes the focus. You can't blame someone else anymore. Everything you do in your single life is about you.
The chaos of your previous relationship was such a distraction that you always only talk about that. But once you're broke up and once you're there and single, now you have to figure out what you did wrong. Like, why is this happening? So I know we mentioned this several times before in other videos, but it really does, and I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I do want to sound like a broken record because you're not looking at yourself. You're wanting her to be bad.
Right.
You're wanting her to be bad because you think that she's using you for whatever reason. And I think, like, I don't know if you're thinking the same thing, but it's not about being good or bad. You know what I mean? It's about being smart and then being secure. There's a part of you that is insecure. And I don't know what that reason would be, but if you're willing, if anyone, not just you, but if anyone is willing to be, and I know this from experience, if you're willing to be in a relationship that you know is a hot mess, or odd, or suspicious, or cringy, you know, something that you're just not, it's not meshing well together, right? If you're willing to still be in that and then start questioning her position in the relationship, then you're really answering your own question. Like, you mean, I feel like you're just answering your own question. Are you a rebound? Probably. This time of year makes people want to have family because, you know, the holidays and you want to show up with someone to these parties. You want to cuddle.
And family
It's like it's cool outside in most places.
And that's the thing. It makes people, shines a light on people being alone. And I've been alone now for 3 years for our holidays, and I'm having fun. It's fine as long as I have fun. One day I won't be, but it's just like I'm not desperate for love. No one should be desperate for love.
But I feel like I feel like it'll happen when it's supposed to. I always feel like that. Things happen in the time they're supposed to happen. When you try to make things happen against what God and the universe has for you, what you're doing is pushing yourself into a mess. Because there was nothing organic about it. It was just kind of like, oh well, she's available. Oh well, I'm available. So we'll just be together. That's not fun. Who wants to? There's no way I want to be in a relationship with someone that's like where it would be like that. Like we just. It's just circumstantial.
No,
it's
never be and never play victim.
I don't want that.
Because let me say, you know, to men watching, is there's nothing worse than a man who cries about things too much and is not doing anything about it. You know what I mean? Don't play victim in your life. I don't like it's not a very masculine quality in a man to me. You know what I mean? If you're not being treated well in a relationship, man or woman really, then leave. Stop sitting around making the same stories and talking about the same problems, but you're doing absolutely nothing to change it.
Like, don't continue to just talk about something and not do anything about it. You know, I had a friend in New York where I was going through a really bad relationship, right? I can't even call it a relationship, you know, but and I was always kind of like crying to her and telling her, oh, this guy's not treating me well. Oh my God, I can't believe he did this. Oh my God, I can't believe he did that. Right? And she, honest person, but I was her friend, and she finally just said to me, you know, you're always whining about this guy. Like, he's not treating you right. Like, I've been hearing for months now, you talk about this. And if he's not treating you right, then why are you still with him? What's the matter with you? So when she said it to me, was I thrilled? No. But, you know, that was like a wake-up call. Like, I got real with myself. Like, what is the problem here? Like, what's wrong with me? Right. We all know what's wrong with him. You know, that's his stuff. But what is wrong with me? And so I think that what we're saying is that maybe you need to explore what is going on with you that you would want to stay in that. So.
And like, get out of your own ego also, because you know, have you ever seen people that whenever they have a bad relationship, instead of focusing on what the problem is, they focus on their own resume of how well of a person they are.
Oh, yeah, I'm a
Oh,
great
well, I
person.
provide. Oh, well, I would do this and I do this and I'm a good woman. I come home, I do
Church-going
this, I do.
person.
They do all of this stuff to show that they are a good, decent human
It's
being.
evidence.
So how could this person be? So just it's like a case builder.
Yeah.
You're just trying to build the case that this person's treating you bad by telling about your only positive attributes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
Why are you doing that?
But the truth really is that you don't have any self-esteem. That's really the truth. You can be low self-esteem people go to work. You know, low self-esteem people work out. They do things like that. So it's like you don't have to talk about how great of a person you are to explain how bad another person is.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you are in a relationship where you are not happy and you're not being treated well, you have low self-worth and self-esteem, and you need to be single for anything, but to check yourself and to make sure that you're good.
I do agree with that. I do. I really agree with everything you
Women
said.
do this all the time. You know, I'm a good woman. I cook and I clean. And I'm a good mother and I do all this stuff. So how come he's not doing that? Because you're a doormat.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? You're a doormat.
It's
and he knows that.
It's almost like get a hint.
A man is treating you bad and then you're still cooking for that man?
Yeah, what are you doing? I don't get it.
A woman's not treating you well and you're still paying bills and living with them and you guys are both still having sex with each other and you know, living out your life together in this misery, and you don't even want to stop at doing all of that great stuff you claim yourself and not talk about your problem.
It's that in itself is a problem.
You know?
So I don't know. I feel like it's, if you could just explore yourself, I think this whole thing, it's truly do that though. Not like just don't half-ass this. You know what I mean? You really have to do some soul searching before you even decide to go on a date.
I mean, you really have to grow, because once you hit to, like, you know, when you're in your 40s,
Yeah.
it's time to grow up.
It is.
With relationships. It's time to be a grown-up. You know what I mean? And how you, and really by how you think.
Yeah.
Emotions are emotions, but we control those. You're not supposed to be led by your emotions.
Right.
You're supposed to, they're there to help you, they're like a litmus test. They're there to show you how you feel. But you don't just ignore your emotions and stay in a bad relationship just to be in a relationship.
Right.
You have to talk about it. And if you're not talking about it, you're not doing anything, there's some fear there.
Yeah.
Some fear of actually someone might actually leave and not want you.
Right.
And then you're just left with yourself. And that's mostly what the fear is. Instead of really just going to the person and saying, you know, this is, because for me, if someone doesn't treat me well, I confront the situation. I don't immediately break up.
Right.
I confront the situation. If nothing changes, then we are done because I'm not happy anymore, and I can't be a good girlfriend if I'm not in a place where I'm getting something out of this.
Right. I agree with this.
You know?
Yeah.
You know, and it doesn't matter if you get dumped or if the person dumps you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You still feel some sort of attachment. So a lot of people think that. They think because if you dump someone, if the person who does the dumping, they're going to get over it. No, because when you're in a relationship, it's not just the person, it's the feelings of being in love that you're breaking away from so you can find someone else. And a lot of people they're really used to being with someone, and they're really used to the feeling of, even if it's bad, even if they're coming home to a bad situation, they're used to another person.
Yeah, a lot of times people like to stay in bad relationships because that's what they're used to.
Yeah.
So when that happens more so than ever is because when people stay in bad relationships, it's usually the fear of they don't want to be in a good relationship because that's the unknown.
Yeah.
We don't know what's going to happen there. But if you're in a bad relationship, you know this person, you know what the fight's going to be like, you know what the argument's going to be like, you know when you're going to have the argument. Well, you know that. You're comfortable. It's a sad, twisted thing, but you are comfortable in that dysfunction, right? So, you know, so when it's just one of those things where you need to break outside yourself, right? And then evaluate the way you are with women, for a woman, with women in general. How are you with women? You know what I mean? And you know, like, again, I feel like if I go back to, if you have to ask this question, if you're asking, like, if I was in a relationship and I was asking, if I was in a relationship and I went to you and I was like, you know, Karen, how do you know when you're a rebound? You would be like, you're a rebound. You would be like, yeah, whatever you're talking about, you're a rebound.
Yeah, I mean, my last relationship, I will say this. This is the first time. The reason why I like my last relationship is because it was the first relationship where I actually did use my my feelings to help me.
Yes.
Because before, and we were a get back relationship. So we started, we stopped seeing each other, and then we got back together and had a longer relationship.
Right.
Okay, so when I first met him, I was not in a good place.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So we attracted each other because
Right.
and so
Like
then,
emotionally, you weren't in
right.
a good place.
Within the 2 years of us being broken up, or not, we weren't even together. We were like, but weren't seeing each other.
Yeah.
He came back.
Right.
And I was in a better place. I had lost weight. I was doing a lot better. I was happy. I was really happy. You know what I mean? With myself single. But then he came into my life and I found myself crying all the time.
Right.
And I used my feelings as a way of saying, I'm not happy.
Yeah.
I was happy before he came back.
But then you're like,
I want my happiness back. I want to laugh again.
Yeah.
I don't like this. This doesn't make me feel good. I don't even want to further this. This can't get better. You know what I mean? And I that was the first time I wish I would have done this many times in my life, where I didn't just date people and let it go so bad
long,
when I saw
so
it
bad,
getting worse. When I saw myself crying and unsure and not knowing how the person really felt about me. You know what I mean? Because so many people do that. I know I do that. I used to do that. You know, I used to be in relationships where I didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
And so it brought up questions like, am I a rebound?
Yeah.
Does he love me? Does he care? And the real problem was I was just afraid to ask him,
Right.
you know, if this was true, because I was afraid that it might be true, that he doesn't really want me. And I didn't want to hear it.
Right.
I didn't want to actually hear the truth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's another thing. A lot of people don't want to hear that part.
A lot of people, it's the
It's
pain.
hard.
The pain of knowing the truth is
it's
more than the
hard.
pain of getting hurt daily.
Yeah.
Because at least they're still there, hurting you. But if they leave you and they find someone else and you realize it was that you weren't the one, your ego might get bruised a little bit. And, you know, and so that's what I'm saying. I think Danielle's right. If you're in a relationship and you're asking that question, then it's true.
It is.
That's just it's true. Then they are just they're going through some kind of feelings of loss from someone else, and you're just a filler. And until you feel like, you know, you're the only one, and it might not be right.
Yeah, you are like a filler. You're a filler person. You're a filler relationship, and then once that's over, the spot will be filled with someone else.
Most people would have better relationships if they were just having if you had a better relationship with yourself. You could find a better person.
Well, because then if you have a better relationship with yourself, though, it's because you're honest.
Right.
You're now being honest with yourself, so you are totally going to be honest with other people now. So it's just more.
People you have to understand universal laws. You know what I mean? And if you feel good about yourself, you won't even have to find a woman. You'll just attract a woman.
Like, I feel like it's so comfortable. To me, I feel like it's really, really comfortable when I meet someone and I can just be myself. I'm not trying to, you know what I mean?
Like you don't eat the salad, you eat the pizza.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like there's a certain amount of comfort that I have to have around you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But it's because you're comfortable with yourself, so that's how you get that. If you're not comfortable with yourself, you're never going to ask the hard questions.
Yeah.
So I look, you know, I appreciate you asking me the question. That makes me feel like you like my advice. You know, Kara and I give relationship advice sometimes, although we're not in relationships now.
And I've never been married either, so I can't be an expert on that.
Right, I can't either, but I can't be an expert on rebounds. Okay, I understand. There's some questions that I feel like I won't, like some things I can't speak to.
Right.
Like
marriage.
I'm not in a
I really can't speak about marriage because I've never been married.
Yeah, I can speak about relationships and dating and all that stuff, but in rebound situation, this is definitely something that I understand. I've been in that situation before, so but yeah, my best advice for you is to be able to look at yourself, and then also, you know, like we said before, if you're asking the question, you got the answer.
Because you don't want to attract someone who's not on your level. You know what I mean? And believe me, when you're in a relationship with someone who is not treating you well, you are also on the same lower vibration too.
Right.
So don't think you're better than them. You understand? Anytime you're in a relationship with someone who doesn't treat you well, you are a match. Remember that. So when you look at someone, to me, you always have to find yourself in people. Because it's there. That's the reason why you're together. That's why you're there. You know what I mean? No one's better than anyone else. That's why you're together. Someone who is at a higher vibration will never be able to be with someone.
Yeah.
You know, a man who abuses a woman, a man who is abuser can't be with a woman who isn't going to take it.
Yeah.
He needs a woman who's going to take that. And a woman who's used to getting beat up by a man can't date a man who has his life together. Yeah. Because it would be a reflection, it would be an everyday reflection of your own insecurity, and you would see it every day. You know, you would feel like a person who's on a higher level will make you feel like you're not good enough every day because you're not living to your highest potential. So if there's
people who are in a relationship are in relationships for extended periods of time, and they feel like they're on a higher vibrating. I'm conscious of who I am. I'm whole and happy. You know, but my husband or my boyfriend is an asshole to me. Well,
Then there's something wrong with you.
There's something wrong with you. If your husband or ex, whatever it is, if they are being a complete jerk to you, a man, woman, I don't care, and you're calling yourself this higher vibrating being, no.
The only person that the only
you met him. There's a lower frequency that he's working on. Y'all working together. On this lower frequency. So
the only thing worse than an asshole that treats someone bad is the asshole who takes it.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, our last video when we talked about being treated well at work, it's the same thing. It's anytime you're in a relationship when you're not standing up for yourself or you're not confronting the issue, you have now become the doormat and you've now become a part of you've now tapped into a part of yourself that you need to work out. And that's the part of being honest with yourself and not the other person. The person doesn't need to tell you they're sorry, they don't need to do anything. You just need to have a realization.
It's like you're tap dancing around a truth that you already know. You're just tap dancing around it. You already know the truth. You already know the truth. You know what I mean? So you can, it just depends on how long you want to go through the charade. Right? Because you know the truth. You can act like you don't. You act like she's the bad one. Okay, it's easy, right? She's the bad one. She's rebounding. You know, she's using me, I think. You know what I mean?
And love doesn't make a difference. I don't want to hear this, I love you. No, you should never love anyone more than you love yourself. Because you can't give love that you don't have.
Right, it's true.
You can't. You have to always love yourself first. I wouldn't want to date a man who didn't love himself more than he loved me.
He has to.
You know what I mean? He has to love himself. Because if he doesn't love himself as more than he loves me at that moment,
he's not
then
capable.
how can he even love me?
He's not capable.
Right.
Yeah, he's not capable of doing that. So...
Right. That's desperate. That's not even love. That's like a desperate love.
High self-esteem people do not ask questions in this way. Do not ask questions about feeling like a rebound. People who have problems with their self-worth do. And I've struggled with that before. So I'm only speaking out of experience. I'm not just saying that like, oh, you're low self-esteem. No. You're sounding like things I've said to myself before. So obviously I can't say that for everybody in the world, but I will say that some things are just textbook to me.
My faith in God won't even let me date another man who would never date me another man who doesn't appreciate who I am as a woman, as a human being. You know what I mean? And if you don't appreciate me as I am, as I was made, as God made me, then we aren't a match and we aren't together. And my own faith in God won't even let me.
Because God really revealed who this person was. I don't even know if this person's a bad person, but really revealed what this relationship was going to be to you earlier on. The God revealed it to you. You just ignored it. That's what we do. We ignore it. When it don't look cute, we just ignore it. And we just want it to look rose-colored glasses. We want it to look so great. But we know. You know that it's not good. You know it. You're just sitting in there and what you're doing is wasting time because you know. Right? And then you're just not helping yourself emotionally, mentally, spiritually by sticking around for what the inevitable is going to be. Right. That's going to be.
Happy people in love don't sit around asking their friends and stuff. I know. If the other person loves them,
that's
or
what
if
I'm
they're
saying.
rebound.
I would, if I came to you as
if I'm truly in love, I'm not going to go ask my sister, "You think he loves me?"
I'd be like,
we're already in a relationship.
I did not know that.
Yeah, we're already in like a relationship. We're already doing this, and I look at my sister, and he's already committed to me, and I go, "Danielle, what do you think? You think he likes me?" No, that's the question you ask before you make this is the question you ask before you make the commitment. You don't make the commitment and then ask if the person is treating you like a rebound.
Now, Karen, we're brutally honest with each other, so I guess there's not really if you came to me and said that, I go, oh well, why are you asking that question? I would say, why are you asking that?
What did he do?
What did he do?
What did he do to show you who you are?
Right.
You know what I mean? Because that's what what do you do? What do you do to shine a light on your insecurity today?
Yeah, because
you know what I mean. Right. So that's what I'm asking him: is what did she do that shined a light on your insecurity for you to ask the question?
Right. What happened? Next subject. So just think about that. Tell us what you think.
So-
Okay. So just tell us what you think about our analysis on your situation. But thank you for asking the question to me. I am honored that you even care about my thoughts on this.
And you don't have to take any of this.
You sure don't have to take any of this
We
advice.
are not professionals.
We are not professionals.
We are not professionals. We are not in relationships at the moment. But you did ask us.
Right. Okay, so the next thing so I had a guest. So I work in you guys know we work in a hotel. We told you this before. Okay, so I work at the front desk, and what happens is a lot of times people want to talk to me about their lives. Okay, happens all the time. And this man was telling me the other day that through conversation, I was asking him, what are you doing in town? And he was like, I'm here doing some construction work. I said, oh, you work for a company? He said, no, I am actually a new owner of a construction kind of contracting company and trying to get off the ground. I said, oh, that's great. I'm like, oh, great. That's wonderful. Congratulations. He goes, well, I want to give up, to be honest with you. And I'm like, why? And he was like, because it's not happening fast enough. Mm-hmm. And I said, well, how long have you been doing this? Mm-hmm. And he says under a year. Now, we all know construction businesses, it takes some time. When you start a business, there are the rare times where it booms, like boom, it goes crazy in the beginning. Then most of the time, though, statistically, it takes a long time. It'll take a little while to get it going, but he's like, I'm only here for this person, for this job he was doing, because it was through a referral. And I said, well, a referral, that's a whole... Someone referred you. That means that you, like you were telling me earlier, that's like word of mouth.
Yeah.
That's good. He's like, you talking to my wife. My wife says, I said, yeah, you need to listen to your wife.
Yeah.
But it made me think, I told him this. I'm like, I think that we're just giving up too soon. Mm-hmm. When things are not progressing rapidly, or like right when you do something, it's not progressing rapidly, we just want to just throw in the towel. And I think sometimes it's frustration. A lot of times it's because that's not really your passion.
Yeah. And
you're just not really connecting with what you're doing. Do you think that's like you're not connecting with what you're doing? But he was connecting with what he was doing. And I was like, but you just, just, it's hard, but just keep going. Especially if you're getting referrals, that's good. But I do think that we give up too soon. Do you think, I feel like it's because of social media.
We're building a channel right now. And, we want subscribers and, sooner you'll get opportunities and stuff. But you got to do the work. You know what I mean? You got to do the work. You got to do the work where you put in more than you're getting back. Yep. You know what I mean? And you got to love what you're doing because of this reason. Yeah. Because when we lived in New York, we had a small cupcake business. So we wanted to go in business for myself. Right. I wanted to be a makeup artist. I realized I hated it. Mm-hmm. And so I thought I wanted to do something like baking because I like sweets, so I like baking. And so I did this little cupcake business that went from, it's one of those things where it happened fast. Right. Not like his. This is a situation, where it boomed. It was actually the opposite. I thought something was going to go slow, and it went really fast. Not go slow. Then my sister had to come and help me, and then we had like this business. But what that taught me in that business was I didn't love it enough because I stopped. I didn't want to do it anymore. Right. It was becoming more of a pain in my ass than it was
the passion left. The passion of baking, the fun.
So
of baking,
I realized I just like baking.
Yeah.
I don't need to
for
sell.
Fun.
I just like baking. Right. That's it. You know what I mean? And so, but what I learned is that anything that you really, really, really want to do. And see, I think a lot of it is that we watch so many celebrities and we watch all these successful people, and what we're seeing is the outcome. Like people see like they'll look at somebody like Kevin Hart. And Kevin Hart is driving, he's hanging out with The Rock. He's riding, private jets. Right. And, he's driving in nice cars, and he's all over the place. Yeah. And he's on every movie. He's making millions of dollars. But people didn't know that 10 years before, all of that happened for him, where he was going to club after club, and no one noticed him. You know what I mean? No one knew that about The Rock. How he tried to do this. How he failed a million times. No one knows about like Michael Jordan. How many times he had to practice and practice, and he was cut. Right. From a team. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so that's what I'm saying. People are only seeing the end result of what success looks like. Yeah. And success takes a long time. Yeah. And for that reason, I believe that you have to love what it is you're doing, but then more than anything, I always say, like I said the last time, is I think that anytime you really want something, it'll always be hard. It's like I was saying, like I'm not a naturally thin person. So I believe that what God does is he takes what it is that he knows we really want, and he uses it as a tool to make us better. Right. Within ourselves. Our journey is what's important. It's not the outcome. Yeah. The outcome, like we're watching today, the outcome is really, you're the same person.
Yeah.
You're just the same person with a lot more money and a lot more opportunity, but you are the same person. And what you're doing as you're going up the ladder, as you're becoming, it's what you're becoming as a human being.
Like,
That
you have
is
to
what
enjoy
matters.
the process.
Right.
Like, I feel like people don't take a step back to just enjoy the process. Even when the process has a little bit of anxiety with it or frustration, you know, we don't just shoot out videos.
Yeah.
We have to edit these things, and it's a
Yeah,
whole.
it's a whole thing.
It's a whole look, and we're
And let me
new
tell
to
you,
this whole.
7 people will like this video, and we've done so many different videos, but I like this. You know what I mean?
Love,
and I'm
yeah.
okay with this. One day I'll have
Yeah.
many more subscribers.
Yeah.
I have much more opportunity, and I'll have a lot. But right now,
We have to do
it's,
the work.
the work is what's important.
And it's the ground up situation. But I wouldn't even turn on the camera every Tuesday or Monday,
Right.
if I didn't love what I was doing,
Right.
You know. So to me, this is just fun. Like, it's just fun. But if I sit here and worry about, you know, what's called subscribers and views and all that stuff, that's all will come. All that will come. But if you're not putting in the work, then that's when everything gets messed up.
Yeah.
And then what happens is that you get frustrated, and then you want to give up on the entire dream, you know, because it's not happening fast enough.
Yeah.
And I really do believe that's because we're only seeing the highlight reels
Right.
of people's lives. I don't, even if it doesn't have to be a famous person either, it can just be your friends' lives. Like, you look on Facebook or Instagram or whatever, and you just literally see the highlight reels. You do not see, you know,
Right.
with our videos, we're very transparent, so we don't show, we show literally, tell literally every part of our lives, or pretty much every part of our lives. So the good, bad, and ugly, the embarrassing
Yeah.
stuff. Like, that's why we talk about this stuff.
Yeah.
Because I know that not everything is perfect, and I know we're in a world right now where everyone's trying to
Look
appear
Edit
perfect,
everything.
and we're still in our, you know, manifestation stage of life right now, and I'm happy and proud of that. You know what I mean? Because we've come a long way. So I just think that don't give up so soon. People are giving up too soon, and I really do believe that if you are just starting new things all over and over again, you are not connecting with what you're doing, which means you're not connecting with yourself.
Yeah.
So if you're doing different projects repeatedly, that would be perfectly fine if you actually kept them going and kind of, you know, kept watering kept watering that. But if you just keep stop and go, you're not connected to what you're doing, which means it's not really what you want to do.
You're right.
It's not really what you want to do, or you don't know how, or you're just scared,
Or you just don't believe in yourself.
or you don't believe in yourself.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's just what it is. I mean, let's play, you know, the grass is always greener. So let's go to where the grass is greener. There's a lot that goes along with being successful that you don't know because you
Yeah.
aren't there yet.
Right.
So even though you see all these people who have money and they're where they, you know, they're in their dream. They're doing it. There's just so much that goes. Let's just use Beyonce for example, because she's pretty successful in her business. There is so much that goes into those concerts.
Oh gosh.
She is rehearsing and rehearsing and rehearsing and not seeing her family and not doing. And there's so much that goes in to, and it's not only that, it's the business end of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so people really don't understand that. And during your process of becoming successful, that is what you're learning.
Right.
You're learning your craft. But you're also learning the business end of things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't mind the journey.
Yeah.
You can't be so lost in outcomes. Because like I was saying, what Deion Sanders was saying, that he for many years while he was in high school, he played you know, football, and he went to college, he played football, and he went up to the NFL, and for his whole life he wanted to win the Super Bowl, and then he won it, and he said it wasn't what he thought.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So there's there's a lesson in that.
Yeah.
He had more fun on the journey than he did when he actually won. Not to say he wasn't proud of himself or wasn't any kind of fun, but he just thought it was going to be much more than what he built it up to be. And so what we really are is becoming better people. And so I always think that people need to stay in the journey because you learn as you go. I mean, I would say our first video, and this is our 20th video.
Yeah, I can't believe we did
Right,
20.
I can't believe we've done 20 videos.
20
We
videos.
literally said while we were at the hospital, our mother, we were gonna do this, and then we
Yeah.
did it. And look, here we're on our 20th video.
Yeah.
And so I can see where we need to really. Me and Danielle both can see where we really need to step it up, and where we need to learn more. And but as I look at my first video, I realize how much I have grown
far
as
we've
well.
come, yeah.
You know what I mean? And so that only happens with time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I just became successful off that first video, knowing what I see now in that first video, I wasn't ready.
Right.
I wouldn't be
That
ready,
wasn't
and I'm still not.
Right.
But the litmus test in that is that I'm not there yet, so
Yeah.
I'm not ready.
You just got to keep going, and that's the
Run your own race too. Don't
Yeah.
stop thinking you have to be where someone
but
else is.
Yeah, because there's a timeline for everybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's got a timeline. Oh, it didn't happen in a year, and then that's it. Hang it up. It's
Mm-hmm.
over. Really, because maybe you just gotta give it
Yeah.
a year and a day. So sometimes people give up right when it's
Yeah.
about to happen, and I just feel like if you're connected to what you're doing and you really believe what
Yeah.
you're doing, you think you're gonna put something out there in the world. I don't care what you're doing. If it's
Right.
incredible to you, it will
do
be
it.
incredible to others. So everything else will come. It will. It will happen. But you and I. This is probably where our work ethic comes in. Is that you have to do the work.
Yeah.
And I know that's the part that people. That's not the cute part, right? When. To me, I just feel like it's just fun to sit here and talk to you all the time. So it's like
Yeah.
not a big deal. You know what I mean? Like we have endless things that we can talk about, but. But we do, like when we're editing the videos and we're, trying to get the pictures right and all, it's a whole nother part of this
Yeah.
that this is new to us.
Uh-huh.
So I didn't even realize, all of what it takes, what it takes to go
Yeah.
through all this, watching the playbacks a million times and making sure you're making it a normal, like make it look normal,
Yeah.
So it's a lot of work, but I just feel like,
Not to mention
It's not-
the competition and
Yeah.
whatever business you're doing,
Right.
you're gonna have competition.
You're gonna have competition.
You know what I mean?
Don't
So
be
you
scared
gotta
of
deal with that.
competition.
Don't be afraid of that. Be yourself. As long as
Yeah.
you stay in your own race and you're really good
Yeah.
there. But
Don't be something you're not.
there is that part. There's a part of all the fun things that you don't see. Like Danielle was saying off camera, we do a lot of other
These are
things
great
to edit the
things,
videos. You know what I mean? And then coming up with content. You know what I mean? And then all of that for most people, for not to get millions of views.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that you start somewhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you can't. I always say that my one thing I'm really good at is I'm hard worker, and I like that about myself.
Yeah.
I haven't always been the smartest because I think you have to work smart, but I also think you have to work hard.
I learned that
You know what I
late.
mean? I
Smart
had to work-
part,
right.
working smart.
But
I
I think
learned that very
but
late.
definitely the
but
hard
learned it.
work is going to take me places.
Right.
It take us places because you're a hard worker too, and so I think that that part of it plus learning how to be smart. You know what I mean? Is what you're learning.
Yeah.
You're learning how to take hits. You're learning how to keep going. You're learning how to believe in yourself. If anything, that you should be proud of yourself if for anything is that you're doing something you love and not doing something that someone's making you do.
Right.
You know, there are many people going to work right now that hate their jobs every single day. And if you are doing that job and doing something you love, count yourself blessed.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't know what they want to
Yeah.
be. And even if they do know what they want to be, a lot of people won't do it. They
Yeah.
won't. They won't.
Yeah.
They'll blame it on age. They'll blame it on their sex. They'll blame it on their race. They'll blame it on anything. They'll blame it on being gay.
Yeah.
They'll blame it on anything so they don't have to say that I just didn't want it or I just don't have the guts to do it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And if you have the guts to do it, even if you're not successful at it,
Yeah.
you are a success at that moment when you decide. Earl Nightingale said many years ago that you are a success the moment you decide you are going to do something regardless of what your check looks like,
Yeah.
regardless of how much notoriety you have.
Doesn't
The
matter.
instant you are doing what you love to do, and you are doing it, you're doing it even though people don't care,
Yeah.
and you are doing it even though you're getting pushback. People don't believe in you that should believe in you. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And you're doing it. You are immediate success, and you will eventually reap the benefits of that. But your job right now is to always own your craft,
Yeah.
learn,
Learn.
grow.
Yeah,
Be accepting
right.
of yourself and show that because
Fine-tune what you're
success comes
doing,
with also a lot of like I look at some of these celebrities and I think it has to be hard being a public person because people are always in your business and that's not something that's
Well, you
fun.
get like criticism stuff.
You know,
Like Karen and I are on an extremely lower
totem pole.
totem pole when it comes to obviously a very low totem pole when it comes to that. I love what we do, so I think it's the best thing ever. But just in realistically speaking, we
Yeah.
are on a lower
Yeah.
totem pole. But we've gotten we get criticism.
Yeah.
Because our content is very
Honest.
and I have a lot of held for review. I have a lot of held for review comments that will not make it,
Yeah.
to my comment section. But we get a lot of anger from people, so some of the subjects we talk about.
Yeah.
So, but that's another part of the journey that we
Yeah.
had to know. But it's not gonna make me give up. I'm not gonna
No.
give up.
I don't give
Like,
up too
what is
easily.
that?
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm a very stubborn person, and
Yeah.
it takes a lot for me to, and especially when someone tells me I can't do something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially that or if people don't believe in me. Sometimes I love it when people don't believe in me because it gives me it just makes me work harder. It brings more of me out. That stubborn works for me sometimes.
Yeah.
It doesn't work for me sometimes. Sometimes I get in my own way with my stubbornness, but sometimes it definitely keeps me in my own head because I have my own way of thinking.
Yeah.
And I'm very and when I believe in something, I believe in it.
Yeah, so
I don't care if nobody else does. You know what I mean?
I feel like when people are when we have a couple of minutes left. Okay, we have a couple of minutes. But yeah, I don't know. I thought that was, I don't know. I was talking to that guy. It just made me think about people giving up too soon. And, like just take us as an example. I mean, if you need any of this, take it as an example. I mean, we're kind of starting from the ground zero here, you know what I mean? And just kind of building it up, but it's fun. Enjoy the journey, y'all. Like whatever you're doing, if you love it, if you're connected to it, if you're feeling it's an incredible thing to you, and you really want to put whatever is out there, don't wait for perfect conditions.
Do it.
Right? Because I was waiting. I was wanting to do a podcast forever, right? But I was waiting to get the best camera. I wanted the best camera, and I wanted the best background. And, I'm just like, okay, I don't have the camera. It's my phone.
People just
okay,
need to
I don't
see
have
you.
a background. This is freaking our
people
room.
just need to see you.
Yeah, just need to see you and just talk, and then people will be engaged. Some people will be for it. Some people are for you. Some people aren't. Whatever.
But all of that stuff all that better stuff will come.
Yeah.
It'll come when you're progressing and you're doing stuff. It'll just happen.
But don't give up.
But don't ever give up on yourself. I don't care what it is. I mean, believe me, there are people making really good checks out there that hate their job every single day, and I would rather be working on something that I love right now that isn't paying me much than going to a job every day that I have to complain about just because I get a good check.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Money is a wonderful thing. I said money is a horrible master, but is a wonderful friend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But the truth is if you're, and how it becomes a master is when you work at a job that you extremely hate, you hate how you're being treated, and you take that money anyway.
Right.
So then it becomes your master.
Yeah.
When it needs to become your friend, you need to co-work together, which means you have to love what you do and the money will come to you. You don't have to ever chase money. Money is supposed to be coming after you.
Yeah.
And it comes after you when you find your passion and you're doing it, regardless of what the outside world says it should look like.
So don't give up, you guys. Just keep going. Just keep going. And I think we're done. Yeah, so we're running out of time, you guys. But so I hope you guys liked the show today. Please let us know what you think, your thoughts. Again, as always, like and subscribe to our channel.
And share.
And share.
If you want to.
Yep, and hit the bell for notifications. It's all Convos with, I keep saying that. It's all Convos with Karen Danielle. Go on our Facebook page and like the page as well. Sometimes we put up little quotes on our Facebook page, little picture quotes for inspiration. So go check it out. And thank you guys so much for tuning in again. And we will see you next Tuesday. Bye.